So Jeff, what is a tiny home?
Tiny home. We market our units as tiny homes, but they're technically park model RVs, which is a cottage style house that's built just under 400 square feet by design. There's
That's
only
great.
one
And
bedroom, one full bath, a full kitchen, and a living area, and some have lofts.
some of your models are gorgeous. They're just so flexible. And I remember the first time I walked in there with John, we just couldn't believe how beautiful they were and the way that they can actually be presented. Tell me a little bit about just really who wants a tiny home? Like who wants to do this?
Well, we get a wide variety of customers, but it seems a consistent pattern is the single functioning mature female is probably our single biggest clientele. A lot of folks buy them for staycation residences or a glant pad. Some folks buy them for an ADU, accessory dwelling unit, to put the grandparents out in the backyard to have their independence and maintain them as a close person in the family. They're used in RV parks for seasonal residences or vacation rentals. They're good for Airbnb as well.
And when people come in and they say, I want to do this, this is something, I'm sure the question comes up, like, where do you put a tiny home, right? How do you do that?
That is the first question we ask. Do you have land, or what's the destination of this thing? Where do we put it? And they'll either give you that, deer in the headlights look, they don't have any land, or they have property already thought about when they're going to be putting it. So if they have their own land, we talk to them about site preparation, which I'll come back to that in a second. Or if they don't, then we talk about them putting in an RV park, or them hooking up with a realtor such as yourself to go find a property that they can put it on themselves.
Yeah. I think the greatest challenge people don't understand, because municipalities are different, is really the zoning, right? So what do you recommend that they do when they want to confirm that the zoning works?
Yes, that's right up front before you spend any money. I tell people, if you have a property, or you have a property identified that you want to put it on, contact planning and zoning in that county and see if it's an option to put a park model RV or a tiny home on that property. And most municipalities now know what they are, so they'll have zoning restrictions pretty clear from them. Either you can do it or you can't do it. Right. And some require you to take the wheels off of the chassis, or the axles off. Some don't mind at all. Some require you to keep them on. So there are some variations there.
So when they give you the thumbs up from zoning, planning and zoning, and they say, hey, this is fine, you can do it, really, how do people approach that as next steps? Like the first check box is, okay, we can do it on this property. And then how would somebody go about understanding what's next in that process?
Okay, good question. Once you get the green light from planning and zoning that it's able to be done, we tell people, is your site preparation completed? And that means, is it pad ready? Because we'll need to get a pad graded and flattened, so they can bring it in and drop it. They're gonna have a dirt topper, a gravel topper, an asphalt topper. We suggest concrete pads. That, and you need power and plumbing. That's the three things you need.
Yeah, I think power and plumbing is probably the most intimidating part of this for anybody. Do you have people that you've talked to, or people that are very familiar with how to go out to these sites and say, yes, you can do it, or you're going to have to pull the power from here or the plumbing from here? How would you approach it if you were putting it on a piece of property?
We source that out to contractors. Locally, we have several names of contractors that we suggest that are familiar with the process. It's not complex. There is definitely a skill set involved in doing that. If it's not local, we suggest that the client reaches out to the contractors in their area that know how to do site preparation for, mobile homes have basically the same setup as our units. So they'll need it blocked and strapped, which means they'll set it up on concrete piers, hurricane strap it to the ground, and underpin it, as well as connect the power and plumbing.
So we always recommend that people work with licensed contractors to make sure that you do it right, you don't have a problem. And sometimes, even though the zoning could be right, if you don't comply with the install process, then planning and zoning and inspections, they could say, well, wait a minute, we said it was approved, but it needs to be installed in a particular fashion for the safety and benefit of everybody. And obviously you want it to last and work the right way and be happy. So it's important to ask those questions up front, kind of the measure twice, cut once mentality. And Jeff can provide a list of all of the contractors that he holds in high esteem. We think it's really important that you work with people that have already done this so that you're not the one reinventing the wheel when you do it. But the process, when you go in and talk to him, I want you to understand that there is a particular process. So what is the tiny home process? Just walk us through. Somebody knocks on your office, they walk in and they say they want to do this. How would you walk them through that entire process, Joe?
Okay, once they've got the land identified or the destination approved and we're moving forward to the unit, I asked them what is their intention for the unit. Is it for grandma and grandpa? We want to not have stairs in the loft for their protection, or do you want it for an Airbnb and have the highest sleeping capacity, or is it for a single person? Because there's different units, different layout, different applications. So we kind of identify what their needs are and then point them in the right direction, show them the units we have on site, let them make decisions for themselves. But that's basically the first step. Pick out the unit you like. We look at options and upgrades. Do you want a porch, a larger porch? Do you want different color exterior? Do you want different flooring, countertops? We always suggest the porch countertops. You want shiplap walls. Becomes standard with a stainless steel appliance package. You want to add the dishwasher and the washer and dryer. You want the tub in the bathroom, or you want to upgrade it to a bigger glass and tile shower. Does it need to be handicap accessible? Things like that.
Yeah. So you can really help them customize that process if they don't know exactly what they want. You've done it long enough, but you can coach them and help them understand this option is that. I even saw one of your options. John might want to comment on that. We walked in and you had a double bunk bed, which I never even occurred to me. You said, well, you can pull out the bunk beds, right, John? Put an office in there.
Yeah, that's terrific. That, I mean, for an Airbnb to have the option to do, sleep 4 people in a bedroom, that's fantastic. So
Yeah.
Jeff, how long does the process take? So once you order a unit, how long would that take to get here?
Depends on the manufacturer. That's a good question. Okay. Right now, one manufacturer is running anywhere from 3 to 8 weeks. Other one's running 6 months. I've seen them get, backed up with a backlog, and they'll be as long as 9 months. So depending on the time of year and the market, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 9 months. So that's kind of an open-ended question, and that does vary.
Got it.
Well, let's talk about the dollars and cents of this whole process, because of course somebody walks in and wants to pay cash. That's probably the path of least resistance for everybody and just streamline the process. Just if you had to give us a range of how much something like this cost on the low end to the top end, I'm sure the sky's the limit, but what's really a number that people can wrap their head around? And then if you don't mind, could you walk them through, if they don't have cash, how would they think about starting that financing process?
Well, I'm grateful to have the background in lending for 26 years before I got in this business. I know more than I probably should, but once you identify the destination, identify your unit, you got your options set up. Our prices, we pride ourselves in luxury models, a higher end model. So ours range from right just shy of 100 up to 175,000. So if the person has cash and they're ordering a unit, we require 5,000 at deposit, and when they're getting ready to order the unit, we require 50% down, and then final payment before the unit's shipped from the manufacturing facility direct to them. If it's an on-site unit we have in stock, obviously they'll pay for it up front, and then we'll ship it to their destination. If it's a finance deal, we suggest they apply online. We have links on our website to 2 different lenders. CIS is for RV parks only. 21st Mortgage, they'll do home only. They'll do land and home. They'll roll in site prep work. So if you're doing your site prep quote and you want to roll that cost into your loan, and you can use the land as a down payment and roll it all together and have a 30-year term, or you can do the home only with site prep or without it at a 25-year term. And depending on credit score, they'll go anywhere from 0% down up to 25% down, depending on the credit challenges.
Wow, that's great. And it seems that people probably ask you this, like, how do you receive it? Once you come in, you decide how you're going to pay for it, and then the process goes from there. And you mentioned that it ships directly from the manufacturer, but what does that person need to be thinking? How do you get ready to receive it?
Well, good question. Logistics is always a challenge. I try to get on a logistics schedule 10 days to 2 weeks before it's delivered from the manufacturer or from our lot. So the client will have loan commitment before it is ordered. Once it's ordered, we'll put it on floor plan. Then we will schedule delivery. Like I have one that's going out this week. So they wire the funds in the day. It's being shipped out Thursday or Friday, depending on logistics schedule. And since they're going so far away, I won't be on site to take the delivery. I normally within 100 miles or so, I'll be on site to receive delivery with the client, make sure there's no damage to the unit. If it is, the freight company is responsible, the manufacturer is responsible. We'll get it in, get it set up. The freight company also does the setup process if you want them to. Setup process meaning level it out, raise it up off the ground, put it on concrete piers, hurricane strap it to the ground. And then we'll need a contractor to underpin it for you and connect utilities for power and plumbing.
Again, Jeff has all those contacts, people that he knows are going to take care of you. I think it's important, again, just that you don't try to reinvent the wheel, and that you get a list of contacts from Jeff when you talk to him, so that he can say, tried and true, this one's done it for me before, this person has done it for me before, and this person's done it for me before. I think it's really important that you're not making mistakes when you go down this road, because it really just increases your chances for success there. What would you like people to know? Because I went on your website, you have some great frequently asked questions, which I thought was wonderful. A lot of my questions were answered on the website here, tinyhomesouth.com, and then there's the frequently asked question page, where you've done a great job of really breaking that information down. But what do you think the number one question that you get all day long is, Jeff?
One of them is, how long does it last? Well, these are very well constructed cottages at a manufacturing facility. The exterior is hardy board and track stack, so it's very low maintenance. It's got a galvan aluminum roof. So the goal from the manufacturer is low to no maintenance on the outside. Stainless steel appliance package, tankless water heater, supposed to be efficient. They have mini splits in them, heat pumps that are ductless. They're direct vent. They're Mitsubishi units and all of our products across different manufacturers. They're efficient. They're low cost. So people say, well, are they well insulated? Yes, they are. They're batten insulated with blown in the roof as well. So they could be in a hot environment or a cold environment as well, still be heated and cooled efficiently. As far as durability, our resort on Lake Norman, we've had them there since 16, and they're still solid as rock. No issues.
Right. John, do you have any other questions?
My experience, I can't tell you the last 30 years, but I can tell you what.
Yeah. Do you have any, John? You have any other questions? I've got a hard one I'm going to ask him in a minute.
No, just to Jeff's point, that all that material is the same material I have on my own home. So, that's tried and true materials, the metal roof, the hardy plank siding. I mean, that's great stuff. So I don't see any reason why these things shouldn't last, a lifetime.
That's right.
And this is a trick question, not really scripted or anything like that, but I hear it a lot, right? We're at a time where people want to get off the grid. They want to disappear. I have friends, I have some hunting property. I just want to just get away. And everything we've talked about here, Jeff, has been sewer and power. But is there an opportunity in this tiny home setup to get off the grid, to consider septic or well, and do it the right way? Even I'm intrigued by the opportunity. Could you add some solar to these homes, and could you really disappear and make this your little quaint place away from the world if you just wanted to disconnect?
The answer is yes, definitely. I've seen well and septic on lots of units. The units are constructed, and they're stick-built homes, 6-inch on center, so the roofs can easily hold a solar system. Well, if you didn't want to put it on the ground next to it. I've actually seen clients come in and offer to put that on our units. I've never done it, but it is an option. If someone wants to be completely off the grid and be self-sufficient, they could do a composting system or septic system with a well tied in and a power supply, either windmill or solar. Solar is most common.
That's unbelievable. It really is it's a great thing. I've been shocked how many people do it as a second home type of setup, or people that they have plenty of money. They just want to disappear. They just want to off the grid place, or if they're traveling to a tourist driven market, they're saying, look, I've got my little place. I don't need to rent a hotel. I can drive in there and do all the tourist type things. But for the most part, they just want to have fun and be left alone. And it seems like a great setup, a great product for people really of all ages, people that are just getting started, that are looking for affordability. We think there's a place in the market for workforce housing with these great tiny homes. And then we also see elderly people that want to downsize and have a more simple way of life. And it seems like a great thing here. And I'll tell you, they have a great website, excuse me, and you can go to the contact page and you can fill out a form and you can see where they're located. They're right on Clements Ferry Road, and these are the hours of operation, but certainly you can fill out a form anytime that you want. And I really do recommend that you go to the frequently asked questions tab, because it is so well laid out, and go get a tour. Go actually walk through the units that they have on Clements Ferry Road, because they're going to exceed your expectation. I in my mind, I had a vision, didn't you, John? I had a vision of what it was going to look like. And then
the use of space is just amazing. I mean, there is just absolutely no wasted space in these things, and it's just fantastic.
It's great. So Jeff Davidson can answer any questions that you have. He's got plenty of contacts. We just felt like it was such a valuable setup to have him on one of our expert interviews here. And Jeff, thank you so much for your time. How would you like people in the perfect world to get in contact with you? Would you prefer a call, a form? How do you want to do that?
Visit our website, hit us up online, or call. Either way, whatever's most comfortable for them. We get a lot of contact both of those ways. And I agree with you 100%. 400 square feet sounds really small until you go inside one of our units and you see how they're laid out.
Yeah, on the website. The website has all the models. You go there right now and you'll see that it's not just the 400 square foot unit. They have plenty that they can offer for you. Jeff, John and I can't thank you enough for your time. Really appreciate you, and please reach out. You guys enjoy a tiny home, but you're going to see more of it here, especially in America and everything that's going on. So thanks for your time today.
Thank you, gentlemen.